Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here today. My name is Natalie, and I'm happy to welcome you to the first webinars of series of live webinars, Anti-Crisis Supply Chain Planning. And the topic for today is forecasting and budget planning with Streamline during COVID crisis, a case study. And I'm happy to introduce you today's speaker, Akarat Rujirasettakul. He is supply chain and logistic consulting with more than 20 years of experience managing all supply chain functions, including sourcing, contract manufacturing, supply planning, logistic, customer service, quality assurance for Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. But actually, better that I'm doing it, I believe that Akarat will shortly introduce himself. And please, Akarat, please start.
Well, okay, thank you for Natalie for introducing me. Right, a lot of messages coming. I like this kind of responders because so many people, from so many industry. Yes, all right. Okay, because we have short time here, I'm planning to do this session for about 35 minutes. During my talking, okay, I would say it is not what's called, it's not really a training though. It will be a discussion, sharing my experiences with the local Thailand market here with my customers. All right, and during my talking, you may want to add some question in the chat. If any question that really needed to answer, I will answer it right away. Otherwise, I will try to answer all of your questions, hopefully all questions at the end of the presentation. I hope this is fine for you all. Okay. Now 5 minutes passed, then we go to the presentation that I prepared today to share with all you guys. Right, give me a sec. Okay, the case study that I'm going to share with all of you guys here is something like a reforecasting and sale budget planning using a Streamline, which I found this Streamline is quite sort of powerful and simple to use for budget planning. Okay. Okay, let me give some self-introduction for myself to you a little bit here. Although Natalie have done a really good work on introducing me, all right? So but just do some cap here. My name is Akarat Rujirasettakul. I'm from Bangkok, Thailand. Hopefully all you guys, some of you guys, or maybe all you guys have come to our country, which is nice country for traveling. Let me know if you are used to come to Thailand before. Hold on. I want to see the chat. Somehow it's gone somewhere, huh? All right, okay, no bother. And I have been worked at a supply chain director in many companies, and my job roles is the previous job role is a supply chain director for many American companies. I took care of Thailand market and ASEAN country, which we normally have there are 10 countries in ASEAN, and I took care mostly, we have, let's say, representative offices, and also my team and office in many countries like Singapore, the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, yes. And the rest, it will be our distributor channel. And now I'm just doing full-time consultant on this subject, right? Okay, and the rest is my expertise. Then I think you will get this slide later on, which you can read. All right, so I don't want to waste your time more on just introducing myself, and I would like to go through into the presentation itself. All right, as we are now in the situation of COVID-19, all the countries in different countries have different situation. All right, the chart that I'm showing you now is, give me a sec. The chart I'm showing you now is as of what? Yesterday, right? Yesterday, right? It's from some country may call it CDC in your country. So you may notice that the bubble here is representing the number of cases in this particular country. This is Thailand here, in the case that some maybe haven't heard it before, all right? And so far, let's say, just give a comparison, Thailand is about 2,000 cases, 2,765 cases. Compared to the US, yesterday was what confirmed 700,000, the global is 2 million. And well, in Thailand, we have been in this situation since we found the cases as early as February this year, about late January, and it's more serious in March. And now in April, the cases has been sort of, I would say, in control. As you may say in this chart, yeah, this is mid-February, where we found little, almost very small number of cases. Then about mid-March, the cases found increasing substantially, and then we have a lot of measures from the government, like in all the country, like curfew, like some lockdown, and a lot of measures. In Thailand, we are in the middle of the measurement. We are not fully locked down like China, Wuhan, and we are not that. I mean, China to us is a quite strict one, but in other countries it may a bit, I would say that relaxed, but it's less stringent. In Thailand, it's somewhat in the middle, and so far, thanks for the government for this good work, the new cases has been decreasing. Okay, so now when I'm working with my customers now is during this time, during March to mid-April, I would say that in the phase of when we talk about BCP things, I would say that you all know about BCP. Give me a second of this one. Okay, the BCP things, and now, as I would say that we are now in the second phase, which I show you now, is what I would say that the crisis management phases. Each country may have been in different phases. And some country, like big country, like the America and Europe, I would say that some country may mix of these cases. For example, in the first phase that we call response and resolve, is the thing that we are doing, many countries doing now is try to stop the spread of the virus. In many companies here is now invoke a lot of BCP, business continuity plan, work from home, for example, increasing what we call now social distance, or in other, WHO has called it different as the physical distance. We are still social close, but physical distance. This is the first phase where we try to stop the high rise of the cases. But at the same time, as a business point of view, we also need to think about the second phase, which is resilience. The resilience is, now we are talking, have to make sure that the company, I'm talking about on the business sense, the company or the organization, we have to think about how to recover or starting to stand up from the situation, the resilient situation. The company have to think about how to reserve their cash flow, all right? How they to maintain the health of their personnel and their business partner, and of course, their market. Then later on, in some country, I would say like China, they will go has already been to in the third phase, which is return. They are coming back to their business. Some companies, some manufacturing is shutting down. Now they are also coming back to reopen. Some companies have been closed for 1 or 2 months. In order to starting up the manufacturing again, then they need some preparation. And also the most important thing, when we are returning back to work as normal, how you gonna contain the spread of viruses in your country, or in particular in your business. And then later on, we have to reimagination of, we have a new word now, right? I think that you have heard it, like a new normal. For example, new normal is something like work from home if it's more normal for us. Wearing mask, I don't know, maybe it could be a norm at least for a year, so on. That's for example. After this, the fourth phase, then we have to reform. The reform is, of course, at the smallest is the business entity itself, and later on is the business entity, the business community, and of course, in your total supply chain. In Thailand, the case is, we are now talking about, in many of us now in the second phase is resilience. We have to make sure that we survive from the first phase. We have to make sure that our cash flow is proper managed, right? In order to prepare for the return. In fact, actually, in Thailand now we're talking about, in next month, in May, we may start to open some business, like for example, retailers in some area, so that the business can become normal and without stopping so that long. In my case, that I'm talking about the resilience point of view, which is the cash flow. We need to also to manage the cash flow. Also to manage the cash flow, the most important thing that we need to do now is, to me, all right, is we better manage our inventory. And in order to manage the inventory, we are talking about the processes that we call sales and operations planning. Not sure that you have heard of this, or any company you are using this as well. Can you share me some your experience? Just say yes if you are using this in your company.
Let me just read a few of them, because almost all of them are alike. So yes, SNOP. Yes, SNOP progress. Yes, also. So most of our actually guests, they're using SNOP.
Wow, good then. Then I don't need to go in detail on that, which actually I'm also not planning to go into this detail though, right? Okay, now I'm going back to share my slides. Oh, it's still sharing actually, sorry. Yes, yes. As we all know, I assume that we all know this, the SNOP starting from forecasting. Then they'll go to supply chain review, which is try to balance between the supply and demand. Then you go into your management executive review, which is an executive meeting there. To me, in order to make the cash flow right, is at this stage is one thing is important is doing the forecasting. But forecasting during the crisis is something not a normal business that we're doing, right? In the normal business doing this SLP, you may do, let's say 1 or 2 scenarios planning, add it in sales input, add it in sales marketing input. Of course, the management also have the input, which we call top down. But in order to crisis, another thing that we need to be able to do is quickly is the scenario planning. Of course, I think I have seen that many of our participants is doing in several business, and I know that you are, I think you are also doing the scenario planning already. But what I found is how quick and how simple that we do the simulation scenario planning will be an important tool, important thing that we need to do now. I hope that because as myself as a supply chain, many times I also need to do the I have to take care of the demand planning and supply planning as well. So, for example, at this moment, let's say as management, there are few forecasting scenario and during the budgeting questions that we need to do quickly. First is top-down and versus bottom-up. Top-down forecast, I think we all know is from either the mandate, it either the judgment, it either the experiences of the, of course, the management team or the expert in the field. Bottom-up, of course, is the sale forecast. We got it from the front lines, our sales people, our marketers, and rolled up into the total company. So in order to manage the forecasting in this scenario now, we have to balance it and do it quickly. Of course, the second question that we need to discuss is about aggregated. It's an item category forecasting or versus the item, the lowest level, the item, or many people call SKUs. Of course, the best thing that we try to do is the item forecasting. But forecasting during this crisis, forecasting in detail. Let's imagine, I hope, in my case, we show you soon, we have about almost 300 items, right? In some of our participant case, you may have 3,000, 1,000. Doing detailed item will take some time. So we must be able to do the category planning as well. Sorry, category forecasting, right? The third is qualitative versus quantitative. Well, this is kind of, although in the during time, this is not the crisis time, the painful time. The statistics forecasting is not that simple if you're doing that, all right? Now there are 3 questions, 3 considerations or 3 scenarios that we have to work together as quick as possible. I mean, so this is a kind of the question of the demand management team, the SLP champion, manager, or the management of the company. They already have that in mind, but how they gonna make or plan the budget properly is about 3 of these questions. Okay, let me show you a little bit of statistics forecasting. I know that hopefully that everybody is a bit involved in the forecasting. Of course, when you see the trend line of any particular business or item, you see there is a mix of signal or statistic. There's a slope there, is a level, seasonalities, and some adjustment. For example, In some item, if you see, okay, let me explain this model a little bit. The gray line is the historical sale of particular item, particular category of item, or total business. If you see up and down in this, right, is either 330,000 in 2018, zero some there. With some statistical tools, this model actually Streamline it actually suggests that if you have the actual sale vary in this particular pattern, maybe the constant model, the red color, is the appropriate forecast. Same here, the seasonal. We see the similar pattern, up and down, but based on the statistics, it would be the seasonal model, right? Or similar pattern, up and down, but this one will be more a linear, but is decreasing or negative slope in terms of mathematics, right? Negative slope, slow down. So I think based on our experience without any tools, I mean, many tools, there are so many forecasting tools in the markets, but how to do the simulation easier, faster, I think that is the key for this time at this time being. So our customer here in the local, they're using Streamline, and I also helping them to do this kind of simulation, which I'm going to show you now, all right, as a case study for all of us. The case study is a manufacturing in Thailand. It's one manufacturing site. Of course, there only one distribution center. Their sales channel is, we are grouped their sales channel at the first stage of scenario as a direct and indirect channel. Of course, there are 282 items need to be forecasted, right? So now I have to switch into the program so that I will show you how we do the simulation. But okay, before I'm going to that, the question from the customer that I have is, they want to do forecasting scenario planning, several cases. They want to do top-down because this COVID-19 is new to all of us. We don't know for sure what is the impact to the business and for how long. So the top-down or the qualitative forecasting from the experience of the management will be a key role based on my case study. Of course, the customer also want to balance their qualitative or the top-down with the input from the market, from the front lines, which we call bottom-up forecasting. Then the process is that once they got this kind of forecasting, they want to review the forecast based on their item categories, which, for example, the category forecasting will be more accurate, right? More accurate than item level, all right? I will not go into detail why it's not item category is more accurate. You can search to Google and find an explanation. But in aggregate term, normally forecasting is easier and more accurate than the details, right? Then they also want to review the sale budget scenario. It's several scenarios. Then actually they are using Streamline for quite some time. Then I said, okay, we can do that with the Streamline. Then this is what we did with them, right? Okay, now show you the demo by Streamline somewhere. All right. Right. Need to open it. Right. Okay. This is the case study. Okay. Just a just a quick introduction to the software in the case that people are not really familiar with this one, so that you can follow me when I'm talking about the output. Anybody want to say something? No.
Actually,
okay.
I'm sorry, are we supposed to see software right now? Because right now we see just presentation.
Oh, right. Sorry then.
Uh-huh.
Okay, stop here. Then
It's an open soft and
I
your
saw the
screen
chat.
is already
Sorry,
shared.
I just saw the chat. Now it's somewhere in the screen. Yes, sorry. I want to read some response here. Yes, we have from Kun Pusadi. All right, I know her. We have excellent Pusadi. Yes, congratulations to you, Pusadi. Actually, she's my next yearly boss. All right. From Kazi. Yes, we are following this process from single Bangladesh. Yes, good. From Matt. Yes, also. From Ghazi. 780 SKU. Yes, it's a bit, I guess that are painful to do that, all right, in this time. How many forecasting, this is from Chanwood, all right, good. How many forecasting scenario planning that we should have? Well, good question. At least 3, right? 3 scenario. One is your best case, your current business. One would be best case, the best. And of course, the other one that we want to plan is the worst case. 3, right? You can have more. You can have some kind of mix. Or if you have time, you can do something like a few cases. Then of course, I would recommend that once you do this forecasting, several model, you monitor the forecast accuracy, and you see what your judgment will be the best fit for your business during this crisis time. Right. Okay. And yep. All right. From Karun, what if we will prepare the forecast for more than 5,000 items? I think Streamline can do it, right? More than 5,000 items. Yeah.
Streamline can easily manage up to 2 million, so no problem at all.
10 million. All right. Hopefully, I don't need to manage 10 million items.
Just 2 million, 2 million, 2
2 million.
Yeah.
2 million is already a headache enough. All right. All right. And Karun, you're really managing 5,000 items there? Wow. It's a lot of work. Okay. Now I'm going to Streamline. Okay. This is what we call the current case, right? Okay, let me move this one a little bit here. All right. This is not a software explanation though, but it will be good for all of us if you understand what I'm showing now a little bit. This is item. This on the left-hand side is the item. The 002 is categories. And this is SKU level. You can have so many categories as you want, right? And then this is the channel. This is SKU. And this is the sale not the sale person, the sale of that item, the G66, the 222, the 002 in direct market and indirect market, all right? So you have all SKU in one page view, where you can find by item, you can see by channel, right? Okay, you can click, or you want to see by ABC analysis. Easy. Then you go to if you click on ABC analysis, you can have a item in direct market, in category and item. That's it. You can do a lot of analysis of forecast in this, what I call is relational view. Hopefully I put a correct word for database management. If you don't want to see your category now, you can just click on at the bottom left. Now you don't see the categories. You just go to market and item directly, all right? Of course, once you select, I'll give you example, select this item. On this view, you will see the, what is it called? Actual sales. I would recommend that at least 2-year data in order to capture the seasonality better, right? Then the software will do the forecasting. Because the data is, I updated this just a few days back. So we are seeing April forecast. Then you have a line called forecast overrides, which I will show you how you're gonna manage budget planning using this feature, which I found really simple, right? Then the most important thing of the SLP process is to convert the quantity into dollars, which we call is dollarization, right? In this case, you can see revenue, right? Revenue for this particular item in that channel. Of course, you will see average price because you provide the model with average price. They will calculate it for you and roll up from item, from channel into the company, right? And also on this chart is actually the chart, the visual explaining of the table. Again, the gray color is actual sales. The blue line is what Streamline tried to make the statistics model out of this pattern. Then if the software find the best appropriate model, which is the blue line for this item, they will use this model to generate the forecast for you. It's better than me. But of course, you can have your own comparison and favor. Then you can have model accuracy, MAPE error, which convert into 65% accuracy. This is error is 35.8, right? So the accuracy is 65. Then you have inventory, which I also, if you put inventory into this model, you can see inventory projection, blah, 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 blah. Of course, you have KPI for this particular item, which you can ask Natalie if you're interested later, right? Okay, I'm coming back to what I'm planning to do now, all right? Okay, what we are trying to do now is, okay, you go into the report page. Report page, you can see by item, which in this case, when I'm discussing with my customer, we want to forecast at the aggregate level because the management said that I will better give you the idea of the aggregate volume of the market. And then with the Streamline capabilities, once, for example, I'll give you an example. This is what we call the base case. The company now had impact some of the COVID. So the forecast actually in April for this version, keep in as of periods of April, you see the number 3426. If I'm going back to February, 2 months ago, in April, at that time, the forecast was 3.7 million, right? But there's some reduction, some, let's say, sales shrink in the couple March and April. Then in April, it's slower down and even slower in the next following months. So when the first question that I present is that the management want to put the top-down forecast. They want to adjust the forecast of each month based on some scenario planning. Then they will also want this, let's say, April number. Let's say if they say that it will be reduced by 65% and they're going about only 1 million left. The 1 million tonnage of total sale. They also want this to be cascaded down into each item, each channel, proportionally based on their forecasting pattern. Actually, Streamline can do that. You can put the forecast over right there, and the system will populate the number based on their pattern. For example, this item had this pattern, they will have also the proportionate of the forecast based on that pattern. Depends on the forecasting characteristic of each item in every month. And this is good, you know. So actually, let's imagine if you don't have a software to do it, how you gonna do some top down of the total company and are projected in the next 12 months into about 300 items proportionally. Any idea? To me, previously, I don't have software. I will jump off, you know, the building, you know, very difficult. Okay, Streamline can do it, which I'm going to show you now. How many minutes I have used, Natalie? I forgot to count the time. I think about 40 minutes, right? So I'll do it quickly, right?
So actually, you have like still 5-10 minutes.
Okay, I will show you. I prepared the Excel, sorry, but I'll show you how to do it quickly. So in order to use Streamline to do the simulation, it's quite simple. First, you go to final forecast. You select the current period, and because we want to forecast as a total company, right? So if we click it all, then you export this data. I just click the export. Excel will pop up. Oh, you mean you not be able to see the Excel, right? Need to change. Hold on. I better share screen faster. Okay. All right. I think you can see my Excel now. Correct, Natalie?
Yes, we can.
All right, just make sure. At least, thank you. I have Natalie with me. Okay, thank you for this one from participant. Yes, this is actually the output of the forecast. See, 3426, 3680. You can have it in Excel. Just a second, right? Very fast. Then you can do some simulation, scenario planning with your management team in this Excel, which I already done it because just give me for the time's sake, I already planned it. This is the same number you have seen. For example, this is your base case, right? Now let's go back to Shanwood's question asking how many scenarios you want to do. Yes, you can do several, which I'm doing now 2 scenario, best case, worst case. All right, show you the graph. Best case is the blue line. 100% is the max, the forecast that were given from the best case we get from Streamline, which is this line. This is 100%. Then, for example, in April, best case is 35. Worst case is 35 in April because at this month we got some actual order. We see that we can finish this 35. The numbers start changing in following months. I mean, in June onward. Best case, we recover the business, as you see from the blue line. But worst case, we see that is stay at 35% of volume for the next 6 months. Sad, huh? But this is the worst case, of course. And you make this one up to 12 months or 1 year or longer if you like. But I think, to me, I would recommend we do this scenario planning for this crisis for 6 to 12 months. I think should be fine, hopefully, right? Then you put the percentage, then you just multiply it simply, right, with the base case. Sorry, 35% out of 3.4 million is 116. Then I just use the Excel formula, multiplied it. Sorry. Then you got your new forecast, the top management. Then you want to put this number back to the model and ask the model to regenerate forecast based on this number. This is how we're going to do it. We go back to Streamline, right? In Streamline, they also have a very good feature. They call it forecast overrides. At this moment, forecast override is still blank, right? All you can see from this line, from the chart, is still blank here. Here, blank, right? Now, we want to put that number back to the model. So simple now. what we need to do from here is you just, because Streamline has the feature of export their table, the table you're seeing now on the screen, export an Excel, and if you paste number into that Excel, you can import back with the number, and that number will go to the model, and the software will generate that order forecast for you. I'll show you. Okay, I just export. I want this table because I want to put the forecast into this table, the new forecast. So you see sort of Excel like this. I'll hide this one. All right. You see a blank table. That's good. What we need to do is we're going to put some number here and import this back. So let's say I will going to put the best case go there. The best case. Okay. My best case is number, right? You check this is April. I just copy up too much. I copy and I paste. It's here. Paste value, okay? The number is there. Save it. Now you go. Now because this Excel file is linked to Streamline, you may see that very small gray number here. There's some coding that the people in Streamline doing it. Good. Now I just going back and import. I place one import. It's going now. Here, number. Okay, sorry. Show you. It's up here already. 3426 194. Oh, sorry, 194. Same number. Hopefully, yes, please. Show you. Is it? Oh no, sorry. This is curve forecast. Oh, here, same. 119501. This is number, right? 1289. This is my overwritten forecast that's going back to the Streamline that I'm just doing. And once you put add forecast at the top level, it's going down to each SKU as well for you. All right? Accordingly to their proportionate ratio. Then you want to know what will be the new sale number for this case. So simple now. You go to back to the report, you're going to project that revenue. And this is your new revenue based on the forecast you just did. What you need to do now is export it. So you got the dollarized number or the dollars, for example, right? You got this number and you put in those nice presentation, copy and paste. Now with some magic, I have this number. I put two cases, best case and worst case into the model. Then I put it properly. Before crisis, as of ASP, which is best case, I put in the words here, best case, all right? And then I get best case, this dollar now, 26 million. And I also did the same process with worst case. I got this number. Then I got this chart showing revenue projection. In fact, you can see from screen though, but you can see by each case. But if you want to present to your boss, you can do some quick Excel. That's it. I made this about 10 minutes. So this is just the top down. But in the case that there are some discussion, the other thing is you want to get input from the front lines. You may want to go to, I would recommend that you look at the A item, more important to your company, A item. You don't want to see by channel, you go to by, let's say by item. Then you just click on it. And of course, you can still override them. Oh, I said, this one is supposed to be good. I think I can sustain it at 1.3. That's it. The software will take this new number and calculated it. Now your discussion will go on, I don't know for how long, a couple hours, until you got the final number, and this will be your output. In fact, we discussed this with customer later on. We try to modify the model a little bit. We want to see by, because in our customer, there are about a few hundred customers, which is from different industry, automotive, motorcycle, agricultural, blah, blah, blah. which we discussed now with the customer that in each industry may have this different impact. Agriculture may be still good, we still need to eat, right? It may not go in that much deep down, but I say that automotive maybe slower. I mean, during this crisis, people may not buy more new cars, a lot of new cars, right? Then you can adjust the model a little bit and discuss is more meaningful based on your also case study as well, right? Well, this will be a short demo which we are doing. So what I'm just showing you now, the Streamline can help your team to perform judgment forecasting top down and balancing your frontline input. Then the system will also prorate the qualitative and some at item level. You can adjust at item level. And of course, you can review it to see it differently until you see that this is our case. And of course, after that, you monitor the situation. And of course, you monitor your own industry and see that and adjust it, adjust the forecast accordingly. Well, this will be the end of my sharing regarding Streamline, but there's last slide, the final note that I would like to share with all you guys, very short one, is the final note, the new normal for the supply chain context. After this, I don't know, if your company is globalization, you may need to think about regionalization. I think many of us, if you're working in supply chain, you cannot get many materials from some country during this crisis in January and February. You may have to think about it. Second, you think about sole source and backup source seriously. Sole source, sometimes we, as a buying, we want to buy, we want to put one volume into some place, which is, to buy cheaper, to get a lower cost. But we have to think about this, review it, and make a really more rigorous task on the backup sources. Think about it. Inventory. We have to think about inventory, not just the cost. It's maybe the investment, right? Of course, depend on your industry. For example, healthcare. Healthcare investment will be more inventory to me seem to be, I don't know, more investment rather than cost, right? And that's it. That will be the end of my talking to you guys. If anybody have any question, please let me know. Then I will address all the questions.
Actually, yeah, there are some questions. Akarat, can you please read and respond to them?
Yeah, please. I'm doing the chat. Okay. Chat. Where is it? Hold on. Chat screen.
Can you see it?
Just try to find it.
Again,
Hold
down.
on. Here, chat. Pop up. I'll show on screen. Okay. During this, I think I'm up to this, right? From Chanwood, during this crisis, how frequently should we review? Oh, well, good question. Well, depends. If you are to me, if you can do weekly, will be nice. Depend on your country situation. Depend on your industry situation. If your number is very sensitive to the chain or the crisis in your country is so volatile, I would recommend, well, starting from weekly. I'm not asking daily, but weekly. Right? And SOP need to review. Then we have to do new SOP, more frequent, I would say. Yes, we would like to override each group of the pretty different trend. Yes, you can override at each group as well. You can override at the total company, at each group differently, or you can override the forecast at the item level. Depends. Anything you like. All right, thank you for all your time, your guys' time. Hopefully that my experience can benefit all of you. And you can talk to me at that email, and then we can chat and we can share experience. I may also need to learn from you guys as well too. Right. Thank you, Natalie, for organizing this. Right.
Thank you, Akarat, for sharing your experience. Thank you, guys, for your time. Thank you. I do hope it was helpful. We were doing our best to make it, to deliver this webinar to you, and talk to you soon. Actually, I remember that it's just the first from this series. So talk to you soon.
Right. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.